Hello and welcome to episode 132 of my Wurm Unlimited tutorial series. This episode will be on the huge oil barrel. Now I have to start by saying this is one of the single most useful, important items any deed should have. And in the true theme of this series, I shall shed light where there is only darkness and enlighten you. But before I begin, let me grab your attention by engaging you with a question, which is a bit of a double-edged sword. Your knowledge of Wurm is fast increasing, but do you know the answer to this question? In the last episode we looked at the huge tubs, so here is the question. What are the two main differences between the huge tub and the huge oil barrel? Have a think about this and see if you give the correct answer. I shall answer this in due course as I progress through the details of the huge oil barrel. Here is a description of the huge oil barrel. A large closed wooden barrel with a tap designed to hold lots of oil. Now at this point you're probably thinking that one difference is the huge oil barrel holds oil, but that is far too obvious. And thank you to the wonderful Wurmpedia, that's where I got the description from, as I did a lot of this information to verify what I already knew. Anyway, continuing on. So I will now go over the usage, which will give both the differences, and let's see if you were right. The huge oil barrel can be used to store any liquid, which is exactly the same as the huge tub. Okay, so no difference there. They both store any liquid in them. Next, a smaller looking alternative to the huge tub. So there is difference number one. It takes up less ground space. Here's another difference. Used with one or more spirit templars and olive oil to automatically fuel all lamps within a 24 tile perimeter of the deed. And that, my friends, right there is why you will be using the huge oil barrel for storing oil. How cool is that? Now this is especially useful for you miners out there. You know what it's like, you'll go into your mine and either you'll start mining and then it'll all go dark because your lamps run out of oil, or you'll go into your mine and all your lamps have gone out because they run out of oil. And because most of the time your mine will be off deed. Well, how about this? For up to 24 tiles in the perimeter you can place your lamps and have your Templars keep refilling them lamps. So all very cool. Now for some notes on the huge oil barrel. Pay close attention to the last entry I tell you. Once completed they cannot be picked up, but can be moved by pushing or pulling. They also cannot be loaded as cargo into a large cart, but however can be loaded into a wagon as cargo. You will need 18 kilograms of dye to paint them. You cannot create or move it onto a tile already containing another oil barrel. Or huge oil barrel, I should say. Okay, where am I at? It can hold up to 2,250 kilograms volume of liquid, just like the huge tub. Unlike a lantern, this item will not hold tar. Okay, now pay close attention to this last entry. Regarding the off-deed lamps, should someone replace or refill off-deed lamps with tar, they will need to be refueled with olive oil for the Templars to resume lighting them. Also note that lamps will initially need to be filled by hand for the barrel and the Templar to work. To fill a lamp, you will need 0.12 kilograms of olive oil. That is how much olive oil it takes to fill a lamp. And don't worry, I will step you through the process of the correct order for getting this up and running on your deeds. If your Templars are not lighting your off-deed lamps, here are some of the possible reasons why. Number 1. Are your lamps within a 24 tile perimeter of the deed? Number 2. Did the lamps contain tar, so therefore they now need to be to have oil added? Number 3. Does your oil barrel have oil in it, or has it run out? Number 4. Are any of your Templars still alive, or have they been killed by a dragon or something? Is it night time? Because remember, your lamps go off during the day. If you answered yes to all these possible solutions and your lamps are still not lit, try simply relogging. With any good game, they all suffer these little glitches that can occur now and again. But it's always worth a try of just simply logging off and logging back on, and then you should notice your Templars going about their duties of keeping all of them lamps lit. Okay, let's make a huge oil barrel. It uses the fine carpentry skill, so you will need to use your carpentry tools for improving, which we will do after I have made one. Total materials needed in order to make a huge oil barrel is 25 planks and 4 iron ribbons. Now for this exercise I'm going to use cedar wood as my wood of choice, because as we know it rots slower, but when this new update pushes over from Wurm Online to Wurm Unlimited, items will no longer rot on deeds, so this is not important for you deed. So having cedar wood is not so important for you deed owners. But if you don't have a deed, if this is one of your hunting lodges, then cedar wood will perhaps be your wood of choice. Okay, so let's get started then. Let's bring up my inventory and take a look. You'll see I've got my 4 iron ribbons and 25 planks. I've also got a log to do some improving with. To make the large oil barrel, you'll activate an iron ribbon. This is showing you first of all the old school method, or you can of course use the new school crafting system, but let's show you this way first of all to get started. So activate an iron ribbon, right click on a plank, create, storage, and you want huge oil barrel. Now remember, it's using your fine carpentry skill, so hopefully you've been training it by making the small barrels. That's the best way to get it up nice and quick. So let's give this a try. There we go. Fortunately my skill in fine carpentry is nearly 50, so we're getting good at doing that. Right, okay, so let's now use the new school method, which is the crafting system. So we right click on this unfinished huge barrel, add to the crafting window, and as you can see here it now needs 24 planks and 3 more iron ribbons. So let's do the iron ribbons first. Drag and drop them to the recipe component slot there. Whack this up to 4, and then let's continue. Okay, that's the iron ribbons. Now let's add some planks. And continue. Let's just quickly spam it. For those of you in Wurm Online, of course, this process will be much, much slower. But that does not mean you will have any less fun. If anything, you will feel more achievement in all that you do when you follow my series on Wurm Online, because you know you've worked harder to achieve that. And there we go. There, my friends, is a huge oil barrel. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is improve it up a bit. Even though it is a quality level 30, which isn't bad at all in actual fact, 30 quality level is what I get all of my containers to, just by habit. But let's try improving it a little bit. So, let's see here. It can be improved with a log. So there we go. Let's activate my log. In fact, let's bring my tool belt up here so we can do this quicker. Let's switch to my number 5 tool belt, which is my carpentry tools. And I can even put the log on there. So okay, I've assigned the T and the R key to improve and R for repair. Okay, 3085. Now we need to use the file. Yep, so 31. So you get the gist. You'll go through using your carpentry tools and a log, improving it up as high as you can go. For me, 30 is good enough. That'll take a long time to rot away. So there we go. That's the improving. Right. Now then, as a further exercise, and I've got a few exercises planned because I do want to try and make this as thorough as possible. Let's now take a look at the huge tub and compare it to the huge oil barrel. So okay, there we have a huge cedarwood tub, and there we have a huge oil barrel. Notice the difference that they take up space-wise. I'm guessing it's less than half the size, the oil barrel, than the huge tub. But bear in mind, you can only have one of these huge oil barrels on a tile. And of course, a huge tub will fit on a tile. So, you know what, at the end of the day, for some of you, you'll still want to have the huge tubs just simply for your role play because it looks different, you know, for one reason or another. But most certainly you will want the oil barrel for your oil. Okay then, next, something I didn't show in the last episode, you only had my word to take for it, and that was how much liquid these actually hold. So let's now prove this beyond a shadow of a doubt, how much liquid they both take, because even on the Wurmpedia there's a question mark next to the volume of liquid that the huge oil barrel will hold. So I want to dismiss that doubt and show you for fact. Okay, let's open up the huge tub first, and you will notice that I've previously filled it to its maximum capacity of 2,250. But don't take my word for that again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my wagon, I'm going to drive it over to the huge barrel, the huge tub, sorry, and I'm going to try and put some more liquid in it. This is just to prove to you that that is the maximum amount of liquid the tub will hold. So let's open my wagon. Let's find my cauldrons and let's try and drop some more liquid into this tub. Okay, drag and drop. But as you can see, it's full. It cannot hold any more. Just to demonstrate this further, if I drop some of that into there, you'll notice it's gone down slightly. If I now drop the liquid back, it will go no higher than what I've told you already. 2,250 kilograms of water. Right, progressing this little test, let's now test the huge oil barrel. Okay, so I'm going to open up my tub and put it on the left. I'm going to open up the oil barrel and put it on the right. Now what I'm going to do is simply drag and drop the liquid from the tub to the barrel. And as you can see, it fits exactly the same amount in. And again, I'm going to repeat my little test. So I'm going to drop some of the liquid out of here. You notice it's gone down a little. Now I'm going to drop the liquid back. Notice that's the maximum. Okay, so let's now drop this water back into the tub, because this is a huge oil barrel and we've made this particular barrel for one specific purpose, and that is to hold our olive oil. So our off-deed lamps will be relit by the Templars. The reason I didn't mention the on-deed lamps is because I've never filled my lamps up, but they always come on. So I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to stick specifically to the off-deed lamps. Why? Because I'm a miner and the lamps in my mine are important. So there we go. That's why I'll just demonstrate this for that purpose. Okay, so the first little test though I want to do. We know the huge tub fits water, and we know that I've told you any liquid, but you're probably saying, Gamester, that doesn't prove that it can hold every liquid just because you tell us it can hold every liquid. So let's go through showing you a few different liquids. If I open up my large cart and open up some small barrels, I can demonstrate now with 3 different types of liquid: lye, olive oil and tanning. So let's start with the lye. And what I'm telling you, is that a lie? No, I don't believe it is for lye. So let's put that back. Let's now try with olive oil. Let's now try with tanning. So as you can see, it's pretty safe to conclude that the huge tub will hold all liquids, as demonstrated by them 3 and of course water. How about the oil barrel then? Okay, let's try with liquids. So once again, you can see it's fact. All liquids can be stored in the huge oil barrel. Now for personal preference as to what, because you might be wondering, so what should I fill my deed with? Should I just have huge tubs or huge oil barrels? Well, I'll say this to you, that unless you have a specific reason for wanting a huge tub, I would go with the huge oil barrel, simply because it takes up less space. Although you can only have 1 per tile, I've not tried fitting 2 of these tubs on 1 tile. If you could fit 2 huge tubs on 1 tile, then there would be a valid argument for going with the huge tubs. But for now, I would say that I would prefer these huge oil barrels because they simply take up less room. Right, okay then, so to further demonstrate this process of using your oil barrels, what I'm now going to do is take you through the steps to getting your deed up and running, so your spirit Templars will automatically fill your lamps that are within 24 tiles of the perimeter of your deed. Step 1, put some olive oil into your oil barrel. So let's drop that into there. Okay, so that's in there. Step 2, find a iron lamp, which as luck would have it I have right here, and then put some olive oil into it. Remember, it takes 0.12 kilograms of olive oil to fill it, which I have already done, and that's why I know it takes exactly that amount to fill it. Let's just repair it. Okay, so step 1, put oil in your oil barrel. Step 2, fill and or you don't have to fill it, just put some, even 0.01 kilograms of olive oil in there. That will trigger then your Templars into filling that particular lamp. Right, okay, next step, step 3. We need to now go somewhere to place this lamp. And when it runs out of oil, the Templars will come and refill it. Okay, now what I'm going to do to demonstrate this is go off deed. So you can see all the lamps that have been placed are all on my deed. And in the time I've had this deed, I don't know, must be getting on nearly 12 months, I have never filled a single lamp. Just that as a little note to you. But for this exercise, we're going to be placing down a lamp off deed. And what better place than the land bridge connecting my island to the mainland. Okay, now I'm not going to light my lamp, it's light enough. Okay, so now what I want you to observe is when I go off deed. Right, you see, I've left the realm of the gamester. That now means we are off deed. So, now that we're off deed, what I want to do is place a lamp. So you can see that last lamp, someone placed it just before the ending of the deed. Now what I'm going to do is place it off deed. So now this placement's probably going to be awful. Okay, you're not watching me for my design skills, which I totally have zero. What you're watching is just for functionality. So remember, don't plant your lamps, otherwise no one else can pick them up. And if you're in a settlement with other people, your friends and other players, you want them perhaps to be able to shift lamps around. So do not plant. What we're going to do is place it. Which now I'm going to fumble with. There we go. Right, okay, so this is off deed, and as you can see, it's out, it's full of olive oil. The Templars are not going to light it, they're going to fill it. So let's light it. Oh, okay, so I do need to plant it. So I take that back. Alright, it has been a little while since I've done this. And it's good to demonstrate anyway. So let's plant. The water's too deep. Oh, isn't that just dandy? Here we go. This is where it all starts going south. Right, okay, so I can't place it there. That's a nuisance. But as luck would have it, so you have to plant them. Apologies for that. They've made a change there. You used to be able to place them down, but they've obviously changed it now, so you have to plant them. A lot of things change in Wurm. With some of the episodes in the past I've made, there will obviously be changes. What I will do in the future is make a new episode on that subject with the updates of the changes. But they need to be drastic, severe. They need to be justified in order for me to make another episode on it. So, you know, if it's only a tiny little change, the chances are I won't show it, make another episode on it. But if the changes are huge, then I shall endeavour to make another episode on it. Right, so now I need to get off deed, but as luck would have it, I know the other end of this island is not deeded. So I will be able to demonstrate this. And I know this is a long episode, but you know what? This is my favourite game. This is my favourite series. So every now and again I do want to do a long episode on Wurm. And of course you have the choice. You can stop the video at any time you wish. But I know there are a lot of you out there that love Wurm as much as I do. So therefore I want to treat you every now and again. In fact, as much as I can. And I know that some of you like long episodes, so therefore I did not even set the timer. I'm going to keep going till the job is done, and not just done, but done properly, because this beautiful game Wurm deserves it. I just wish I wasn't so incompetent half the time, but never mind. I'm only human. Okay, so we're keeping our eye out down here for when it says I leave the realm of the gamester. That's what we're looking for. Boy, it's overgrown over this part of the island. I haven't been here for ages. Hopefully there won't be some giant's dragon or something here, cyclops or troll, to ruin my episode. Anything could have spawned down there. Bisons are definitely good. Right, so I've left the realm of the gamester, so we'll go a little further. Okay, this is a good spot. Let's turn the bison around so they're not in the way. And let's give this a little test. So I'm going to come here and plant. There we go, I'm planting the lamp. Okay, let's now light it. And now we have light. Now what's going to happen is, when that lamp runs out of its olive oil that I filled it with, if all works well, which it will of course, because this is our wonderful Wurm, when that lamp runs out of oil, a Spirit Templar, if he's available, and if there's olive oil still in my oil tub, barrel, he will then come and refill that lamp. So there we go. Very, very cool. There's a horse. Okay, so there we go. I think that is everything I wanted to cover. Of course there was so much. I mean, even for me, goodness, there was a lot of information, and it's quite possible I've even missed some important stuff. I hope I haven't. I hope I've covered everything relevant to this. But once you fill your huge oil barrel with olive oil, put olive oil in your lamp, and you have Spirit Templars, it will then all work in harmony. And you will notice your lamps, providing you keep getting olive oil, will never go out off deed. Okay, that's it. That's all what I wanted to tell you. There is one more thing, however, I'm going to mention. Now, if you've watched this episode all the way through and right to the end, then I feel I want to give you one extra reward. And this may not be a reward for all of you, but for some of you, I hope this is a very good reward. I watched a film last night, and I know I'm drifting totally off subject and totally off topic, but bear with me. I watched a film last night that I found absolutely fantastic, and I simply wanted to share it with you. The film was called Predestination, and it was released in 2014. Now, if you're like me and you love Dan Brown novels because they are pure brain candy, then I strongly encourage you to watch Predestination. It is such a beautiful film, and it is pure brain candy. After I watched the film for about an hour afterwards, I was going through still the whole film in my mind, trying to work out all different facets of it. I will say no more, but if you want to have an hour and a half of pure joy in watching a movie, then watch Predestination. Of course, some of you will simply hate the film. You won't be into the types of films I like. But some of you, perhaps, will be watching one of the best films you've ever seen. Anyway, there we go. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you, and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching, and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.